Welcome back to the second half of this morning's Gone Outdoors. Kyle Agri and Scott Brewer of Brewer Agri Outdoors. Talking hunting, talking fishing, and talking anything you can do outdoors here on KWSN and Kello News Talk in Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and the mighty 790 KFGO in Fargo. Exciting to welcome back a good friend of ours, Joe Henry, Lake of the Woods Tourism. And Joe is not a stranger to Gone Outdoors and our listeners, and it's always fun to get an update on what's happening up there on the northernmost part of Minnesota, bordering our Canadian friends. Joe, how has the summer been up on Lake of the Woods?
Well, I'll tell you what, I mean, it's been a good summer. In fact, don't take my word for it. I'm the tourism guy. If you check out fishing reports or social media people, it has been such a good summer. Right now, as we speak, there are just schools and schools and schools of walleyes set up over our basin on Big Traverse Bay. Lake of the Woods has three parts to it. You got the Rainy River that feeds the lake. You got the big open basin, the big open water of Big Traverse Bay. That's about 30 miles north-south by 25 miles east-west. It's big water. Then you got that little tip that sticks up into Canada called the Northwest Angle. And that's where the 14,552 islands of Lake of the Woods begin. So right now as we speak, most of the fishing is happening either on the basin or up at the angle. And I'll tell you what, that basin bite right now, our basin, the deepest spot in that whole basin is only 38 feet of water. Right now, in about 32 to 34, give or take, there is just a pile of walleyes. And I mean, I talked to a charter boat captain yesterday from the water, and he was drifting for over 3 hours and just kept drifting because he kept catching walleyes with his crew. I talked to another group that they said, man, we got so many slot fish in that 22 to 27 inch mark that it was unbelievable. And of course, we got our eaters too, and the MTT, the Minnesota Tournament Trail, was just up the Lake of the Woods not long ago, and the winning bag of walleyes for that group. And of course, they're sharpshooting with forward-facing sonar, so they can, pass by the little 25 and 26 inch fish and go after the big 30 pluses. But the winning bag of fish was over 55 pounds for 5 fish. That's over 11 pound average. Now, albeit the fish donkey conversion from inches to weight is a little bit liberal, but nonetheless, those are all 30 inch plus fish. Just unbelievable summer.
Yeah, that is absolutely amazing, Joe. And, really not a surprise given the quality of fishery of Lake of the Woods. And hey, here's the thing that I do know about the bite this time of the year up there. You can sharpshoot them, right? But you don't have to. You can drift with spinners, you can jig them, you can pull cranks. There is just almost any way imaginable to get these fish in the boat.
However way you like to catch walleyes, you can do it on Lake of the Woods right now.
You can, you really can. We talk about the forward-facing sonar and the sharpshooting, and I certainly don't want to give listeners the wrong impression. Tournament anglers as a whole have gone to that technique because it's so efficient for tournament angling. But the majority of people fishing Lake of the Woods, and right now our charter boats are making a living just drifting spinners. You put down a 2-ounce bouncer. Otherwise, if you're fishing 30 feet or deeper, put down a 3-ounce bouncer. It just makes it easier to touch bottom and maintain a better, like a 45-degree angle. And you use a 2-hook harness with a crawler. Have a hammered gold blade, either that or golden paint, golden chartreuse, golden orange, and you just drift through these big schools of walleyes. And you're going to catch little ones, you're going to catch eaters, you're going to catch spot fish, which on Lake of the Woods, the ones you have to release are 19 and a half to 28. And you're going to get some trophies over 28 inches. I mean, you're going to get everything. But the kicker is you're catching. And it's just been it's been on fire. It's been just a really good summer.
That is awesome. It truly, truly is. And Joe, one of the things we wanted to make sure you were able to share with our listeners is some of the new technology in terms of information available to boaters up there on Lake of the Woods. And you have something called wave buoys. So explain a little bit about what these things are.
Yeah, we don't. Other big bodies of water have wave buoys like the Great Lakes. So what you're able to do is be on shore in a protected harbor. When you're in a protected harbor, you don't know what's happening 3, 4, 5 miles offshore, right? It's big water. So you're able to look on to a website and see basically in real time what the wave conditions are. And that helps you make a more educated decision on where you're going to go boating, where you're going to fish, whatever. So I thought, boy, Lake of the Woods, especially Big Traverse Bay, 30 miles north-south by 25 miles east-west, wouldn't it be nice to have wave buoys? charter captains making a decision where they should fish today. They got a crew of elderly people. They got a crew of kids, their family, and that aren't really used to the water. And, you know, it's a little bit bumpy out there. You know, where should I fish today? How bumpy is it out there? You get somebody that's going to boat all the way across to the Northwest Angle, 42 miles, instead of driving around through Canada. You know, you have people that bring their own boats, and they're going to go out fishing, and they're like, hey, should we fish the shoreline today, or should we get out there on some, you know, offshore reefs? Whatever the case might be, you can go onto the Lake of the Woods Tourism's website. It's lakeofthewoodsmn.com/wave buoys. And you go to our homepage, you guys. We have a wave buoy symbol there. We have the word wave buoy. You click on that, it's going to take you right to it. We have 3 wave buoys out on the lake. We have a Big Traverse Bay West, Big Traverse Bay East, and then we got one up the Northwest Angle. And you're going to be able to look at those buoys in pretty much real time and get an idea of what those waves are doing and make a good decision on boating today. Our buoys work off of a cell signal. And, Lake of the Woods is big water, and we're up in the North Country. So our cell signal can sometimes it's strong, and sometimes it gets a little bit spotty. So it's how real time we're getting a reading is really based on how good our cell signal is that day. And, for most of for most of the buoys, it's normally you're going to get a reading within the last hour. And we're also working with some different placements to trying to place our buoys where we want them far enough offshore so they're useful, but at the same time, we want to be able to get a consistent signal reading with a cell phone tower. So we're still getting them dialed in, but what a great resource for people to get dialed in, right?
Yeah, Joe, that is such a huge safety resource for your anglers that are up there. Thank you very much for doing that. Something like this cannot be very inexpensive.
No, and I'll tell you, so when I started doing the research on this, naturally I went to everybody I could think of to take this project on. I mean, we're a destination marketing and a destination management organization. What are we doing with wave buoys, right? When I reached out to nonprofits, every nonprofit I could find, on the Great Lakes and everything else, I reached out to NOAA, Army Corps of Engineers, Coast Guard, Border Protection, DNR, county, sheriff's department. I reached out to everybody I could, and either grant funding that they received was for the Great Lakes, and Lake of the Woods isn't a Great Lake, or we had situations where people would say, "Gosh, it's a great idea. Unfortunately, that wouldn't be us. You might want to check with these other organizations." And after exhausting every possible resource, we finally said, "Hey, man, how can we pull this off on our own?" So what we did is we said, "All right, we're a destination marketing organization. What are we doing in wave buoys?" Well, what we decided is that, hey, if we house this information on the Lake of the Woods Tourism's website, anybody and everybody that looks at this information will have to go to the Lake of the Woods Tourism's website. So ultimately, we're driving that important traffic to our website, and of course, that's a promotional reason. So between that and we have a legend on Lake of the Woods who was a board member of Lake of the Woods Tourism. His name is Jerry Henham, and Jerry Henham passed away unexpectedly while we were working on this wave buoy project. So he was very aware of it, and he was very excited about it. His family approached us after he passed and asked if they would be able to take the memorial funds from his wake and funeral and put it towards the wave buoy project. They thought that he would really be proud of that, and we gladly accepted that. And in fact, on our website, we have a little memorial to Jerry Henham for the donation of that memorial. So between the two funding options, we made it happen, and we got wave buoys out there, you guys. They're on sophisticated anchoring systems with rope and chain. We got 2 spar buoys, and then the wave buoy itself. They're yellow in color. The wave buoy itself is about the size of a basketball. And it's communicating cellular in every half hour as long as there's a signal. So it's been working out good so far, and hopefully we'll get it dialed in even better.
That sounds absolutely awesome. And what a legacy for a family to leave of their loved one up there on the lake. That meant so much to him. I just loved hearing that story. Joe, we're out of time, but I'm wondering, we want to share that website one more time because, hey, right now you said the bite is on. And the fact of the matter is, it's not going to be off until the season closes and we have to take a break and wait for it to open again. So folks are going to want to look it up what they can to make their plans here this fall, this winter. Where do they go to find that information?
You know what? Hey, we got the information right on our homepage. That is Lake of the Woods MN for Minnesota, Lake of the Woods, MN.com.
Thank you, Joe. It's always a pleasure having you on Gone Outdoors. We appreciate your time.
Thanks, you guys.
Folks, don't go away. We got to take a quick break right now, but we'll be back with more Gone Outdoors.
Looking for somewhere to get all your fishing information in one place? onX Fish Midwest has something for you. Search for new fishing areas with filtering features such as species, abundance, trophy potential, lake survey info, regulations, and area insights are just a click away.
Getting to your target lake has never been easier with access points and public land ownership clearly marked on onX Fish. Mark and customize waypoints and weather for your exact location. Use code BA Outdoors to get 20% off onX Fish Midwest at onxmaps.com.